I don't even know how to start this. What is up, dudes? Wow, that was really lame. Today I have decided that I'm just gonna do an easy kind of talk through Megan Fox makeup tutorial. This is the picture that I'm working with today. So if you want to watch me try to recreate it on myself, then you can keep watching. What I've been using for primer, if you've watched my videos, you probably have already figured this out. I've been using the Hey Honey Good Morning Facial Serum. So that's what I'm going to use today. So, you know. So I'm going to be taking the Kat Von D Lock It Tattoo Foundation in the shade Light 45, and I'm going to mix that with my L'Oreal Infallible Pro Matte Foundation in the shade 104 Golden Beige. Take the Rimmel Wake Me Up concealer in, what shade is this in? 125 Very Fair. And I'm just going to use this to brighten up underneath my eyes and kind of conceal. I don't know if this is going to be using this for extra coverage, but I don't really know if that's going to work for me today because, you know. So today on my blemishes, I'm going to be taking this Almay concealer in 100 Light Pale, and I'm going to take the yellow side and use this to go over the few blemishes on my face that I have, just so I can feel more secure. Alright, so moving on to the highlight and contour, I'm going to be trying out my new NYX Wonder Stick. This is a highlighting and contour stick. It definitely has quite a bit of a highlight on her forehead, so I'm kind of just going off of what her forehead has. The highlight down her nose is very thin. She has a much thinner nose than me. Of course, I don't think I have to tell anybody that. Her highlight, her cheekbones, she has much more defined cheekbones than me, but her cheekbones don't go quite down as far as mine, because I kind of have cherub cheeks. And she has sexy people cheeks, so naturally, so, you know, she does her. And just watch where her contour goes. And like I said, her cheekbones are smaller than mine, so I have to curve up a little bit sooner than I normally would to kind of make the illusion of my cheekbones not going down so far. Heavier than usual. And then of course under her lip, because she has a full lower lip, and around the jawline, because she has a very precise jawline, I'm doing this to kind of make this look shallower so I look like I don't have a double chin. And then her forehead is a little smaller than mine. I don't think I have a huge forehead, but it's huge compared to hers. I'm also going to put this in the crease. And then I'm going to do my best to kind of replicate her nose, so it's not going to work, and I want this to look not, I don't know, I don't want it to be super obvious. I'm just trying to do this as naturally as possible. So I'm just kind of going off of what I see in the picture. Take my Real Techniques, what is this called? Expert Face Brush, and I'm going to use this to blend in the contour. Alright, now I'm going to set all of this with a powder because she typically has a very matte face. And loose face powder in the shade Naturally Neutral to set my face with this. And I like to use the powder puff first because I feel like it really sets my face well, because I do have really oily skin and I don't want to move. And I'm just going to take a brush to knock off that powder. And since my face is a little bit lighter than my skin down here, and I really don't like how much lighter it is, I'm going to take my Color Evolution Mineral Foundation in Toffee and just kind of use this to make it match a little better. I just got a bunch of mineral foundation in my eye. That's really uncomfortable. Alright, now I'm going to bake my face, and this is just going to really make that facial structure that I'm trying to recreate come off a little bit better. I'm going to take my E.L.F. High Definition Powder in the shade Corrective Yellow. I'm just going to place this everywhere I highlighted earlier. So here, down the nose. Sorry, I thought I got some in my eye. On the chin, on the jawline, everywhere. I'm gonna move on to my eyebrows, which are pretty important for this part. So I'm actually going to use an oldie that I used to use all the time. My hands are really slippery today, apparently. I'm gonna use my E.L.F. Eyebrow Kit. This is in the shade medium, and I'm going to be using both of the sides. I'm gonna start with the cream. I'm going to apply that with a really small angle brush. So, and you really, really wanna make sure that you focus on this part because her eyebrows are kind of what make her look. She has very arched, precise eyebrows, so should I grab my other one? I think this is the one that's like already almost out of the cream. And also another thing you want to be careful of is on your arch. You want it to be arched, but you don't want it to be too pointy. You want to kind of round it off just a little bit so it doesn't look interesting. I don't really know what else to really say. It doesn't look bad. Or to say it, you don't want it to look bad. Because sometimes if it's really pointy, it looks a little interesting. Typically what I do anyways, but. And I use what's left over on the brush to do the inner part of the brow. And sometimes I kind of. Alright, so now I'm going to take a little bit of it, it's still small, but it's just a little bit thicker of an angle brush. And I'm going to take the powder side. And I'm going to set that cream side and kind of make everything look thicker and everything like hers. And I'm going to be adjusting this to my hair color. If my hair was dark brown like hers, I would be doing these probably just a tad bit darker just to look more like hers because her eyebrows are darker. This part, you definitely don't have to do unless you have red hair. But I'm sure you figured it out by now why I do this. I like to take a matte red and I just like to run it through my brows just to match my hair a little bit better, although my hair's not all that intensely red anymore. This just kind of matches my hair better. And I like how it looks better. I'm going to go through and brush my brows. Just going to distribute that powder and just, you know, make everything look more put together. Knock off this powder. So we can begin the really easy eye makeup. I'm going to use an eyeshadow primer, and the one I'm using is the Lorac Behind the Scenes Eyeshadow Primer. Lid. Lower lash line. I'm going to use a beauty blender just to make sure that this is blended nicely on the lid so it doesn't move. The palette I'm using today is the Lorac Pro 2 palette. It uses Buff. This is just an easy neutral color. I'm going to take that shade called Buff and I'm going to put this over the entire lid. Then I'm taking light brown, which is, as it says, it's just a light brown color. So any light brown that you have will be perfect for this. And I'm going to take that on a blending brush or a crease brush. And I'm going to very softly put this through the crease. This isn't going to be a super noticeable shadow. This is just going to give a little bit of depth, and it's just gonna be kind of like a transition color. It's gonna just chill there. There's not gonna be anything too fancy about this color, so it's not really important. Alright, so now I'm going to take Cool Gray, which is just a cool brown, and any cool type of brown that you have is going to work. And I'm going to kind of begin to create a V shape on my outer corner. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run this along the lash line a little bit, not all the way to the inner corner, just a little bit to like about that point. And then I'm going to create a V shape. So going into the crease, the lighting just changed. This is why I should start using my setting lights. I usually prefer natural lighting, but so I'm going to do it in a V shape like that. And then I'm going to take that brush I used to apply the brown shade, and I'm going to use that to blend this out softly. Next, I'm taking the shade called Black, which is just a matte black. So any matte black, or if you don't have a matte black, you can just use whatever black you have. And I'm going to do the exact same thing I just did with the cool brown or the cool gray color, except I'm going to smudge it a little bit higher, just a little bit. And doing the exact same thing, except I'm bringing this one in just a little bit more. And then same idea, you're going to create that V shape in the eye, like that. And then blend this out. The best that you can. Okay, now I'm taking the shade called Snow, which is a shimmery white color, and I'm going to just take a little brush that I can kind of get in there with, and I'm going to place this right underneath the brow bone. The inner corner of the eye, and the inner lid part there. And I'm just going to make sure it's all blended. I'm going to be using the Tarte. I don't know what the names of these are exactly. I got a little kit of them. I'm not sure, but it's some type of eyeliner by Tarte, and it's just in black, and it goes on the waterline easily. It's just very subtle though. It's not a super heavy dark eyeliner, so it's perfect for this kind of look. You're going to take that shade Black again, or whatever dark shade that you used. So I'm going to take the shade Black again, and I'm going to use a very thin brush, and I'm going to press this into the lower lash line, very close to the lash line. It's not like an Olsen twin look that goes down really heavily, and we're going to just kind of, you know. Yeah, and also another reason you don't want to make it too thick is one of the things that I'm going to be showing you guys how to do here in a second is Megan Fox has a very feline kind of cat eye shape to her eye, and so the thicker you make your lower eyeliner or your powder down below, it's going to create the illusion of a rounder kind of eye, and that's not what we really want for this look. So that's another thing you should keep in mind, whichever one you really want to use. And I'm going to take a very thin angle brush, and I'm going to begin to line the top of the lash line with this, and it does not have to be perfect because it's going to get smudged. We're just going to line this on the lash line because her lash line is usually pretty smoked out, but it is winged out usually, so not always, but typically. And also, if you don't have a feline shape to your eye, what you can do to create that illusion is you're going to make the outer part of your eye with your eyeliner, you're going to make it thicker, and then you want to make sure it's thinner. The more, like, the inner part of your eye is going to start out thinner and it's going to get thicker, and that's going to create the illusion of a feline or cat eye a lot better. Whenever you're creating a cat eye, try not to turn your wing up too much, because once again, that creates a different eye shape, and so you're going to want to kind of make your eyeliner go out more like this, more than you want it to go like that. So Now that that is done, you're going to want to smudge this out. I'm going to be using my Real Techniques fine liner brush, and I'm just going to take it and go over it with this liner brush and just kind of smudge it out a little bit, but we're not going to just do it like this. I'll show you guys. I'm going to take that shade black and I'm going to go over the liner I just used with that to make it darker. Take a brush and just use that to blend that. This is also optional, but if you're like me, once again, and you don't have a feline eye, what you can take is that same brush we just used a second ago. And if you've ever done like an Arabian or like an Arabic kind of style eye, where they do that inner part where it's like filled in to look more sharp, you can kind of do something like that, but you're going to do a very subtle version because we want it to look like it naturally does that. We don't want it to be obvious that we are, you know, that it's just a liner. So I'm just going to take that same brush and I'm going to lightly go in with this just a little bit, just to make it look more like I have that cat eye. Now, lashes. I'm going to curl my lashes and apply a ton of mascara. So mascara, I'm going to start off by using the NYX Pinup Tease. I believe that they only have this in one shade, which is a black color, so I really like this for the lower lash line though. I always poke myself in the eye, so, and you know, it sucks to poke yourself in the eye. One, because it freaking hurts, and two, it ruins, like smudges your makeup and everything, so. Oh my god. I just did it. I just freaking did it. I knew that was gonna happen. I'm gonna use my all-time favorite mascara of all life, which is the Rimmel London ScandalEyes mascara. It's the freaking bomb. I'm gonna start off with bronzer. I'm gonna take the Pixi bronzer in Summertime, and I love this bronzer because it's brown. It doesn't have anything orangey about it, which is something I love. This isn't going to be my initial contour, but it just warms up my face and kind of gets my face ready for that contour. On the nose, on the lip, underneath the chin, down the neck. To chisel my cheekbones, I'm going to take a darker bronzer. I'm just going to take this one. This is from the E.L.F. Blush and Bronzer Kit palette, whatever you want to call this. And I'm going to use my Real Techniques contour brush to chisel my cheekbones. So remember to bring this higher because, like I said earlier, her cheekbones are much different than mine, and I might make my contour a little bit stronger because she does have a nice bone structure that I don't have. Alright, so taking that picture of her again, I'm going to try to contour my nose like hers. Unless I was doing like extreme contouring, it's not going to look exactly like hers and still look natural. Keep that in mind that this is not a transformation, but I do, you know, want to kind of contour my nose more like hers. So if you want to do the same, just use a reference photo of hers and, you know, just kind of look at it like I'm doing. And I am going to blend this out, don't worry. But I'm going to start this off right. So her nose is much thinner than mine. She doesn't have a bulbous nose like me. Drag this down just a little bit. Her nostrils are thinner than mine too. Mine go out a lot more than hers. We basically look nothing alike. So I'm going to put a line across to kind of create that illusion. And she does have a split in her nose that's more noticeable, so I'm going to draw a line down here. And I'm going to take a Real Techniques Deluxe Crease Brush to blend this out. Because I don't want my just to be aligned. If I was doing a transformation, I would probably leave this, but I'm not, so I'm actually going out and doing things, so. This is from the Beauty Treat Matte Blush Palette, and I'm gonna take a really light pink shade like this. And I know it looks really crazy in the pan, and it looks like it's gonna make you look like a clown, but trust me, when it's on, it looks really nice. So I'm just gonna take a blush brush and apply this to my cheeks. Pretty much everywhere she has it. Hers is mostly focused right here. I'm going up. I'm going to take my Color Evolution bronzer in Hermosa. It's so light, it's pretty much a highlighter. You know, my cheekbones here. I really want to try the Balm Mary Luminizer. I hear from everybody that stuff is God's gift to the makeup world. My nose, the tip. This is also going to really help bring out your contour, how you highlight. My forehead for sure. She definitely has a forehead highlight in this photo. Above the lip. And right here on the chin. This is a trick I learned from ShanXO, or Shannon Harris here on YouTube. Whenever a lot of people are trying to put lashes on, they usually take the lash glue and apply it straight to the lash band. And then you have to sit there and you have to blow on it and wait for it to get tacky, and it takes forever. So what I have learned to do is I just take my lash glue. I like to use the Duo Eyelash Adhesive in the dark tone because I wear black eyeliner and it's just a lot easier to work with. What I do is I take a pair of tweezers and I take my glue and I put it on the flat side and I draw it, or I kind of just put the amount that I'm going to need, and then I let it set. And by the time it's time for me to put my lashes on, it's good to go. Alright, so I'm going to go on to lips before I put my lashes on so my lash glue has more time to just sit there and get more tacky. I'm going to be using the Rimmel London Lip Liner in 011 Spice. Maybe it's just going to be easier this way. So her upper lip isn't quite as big as her lower lip. Her lower lip is really full, so I'm going to overdraw my lower lip just a little bit. Not a lot, just a tiny bit. And then I'm going to lightly fill this in. Not a lot. It's not going to be even, but I just want there to be a tiny bit of color. Alright, so for the actual lip color, I'm going to be using NYX Soft Matte Lip Cream in Stockholm. And then just to kind of plump it up a little bit, or just make it look more, you know, make my lips look fuller, I'm going to be taking LA Color's Chunky Lip in Warm Caramel, or Warm Caramel, whatever, and put this in the center. There's not going to be a huge difference, just a tiny bit. To create that feline shape, especially if you don't have it, you're going to want to take some lashes that, you know, begin shorter, and then as they go out, they get longer. And for that, you're going to, you know, just anything like this. These are the Salon Perfect Perfectly Glamorous Demi Wispies. These are really cheap. I'm using them because I figured anybody can get them at any Walmart. So just anything that's got that gets smaller, like shorter, and it gets longer as it goes out. So, this. Put that right there along the lash line as close as possible. And take a pair of tweezers that doesn't have stuff all over them. Just alright, and just to bring out those lashes a little bit more, I'm going to take my mascara and go through these one more time. And then I'm going to set that with the same makeup spray I used in the beginning. And I think that that's it. This took way longer than I thought it was going to, but you know what? That's okay. It's a really easy look, I think. Maybe not for people who like to wear super basic makeup, but since I am used to wearing glitter and lots of lashes and lots of liner and lots of contouring and lots of everything, to me this is easy and simple, so you know. I hope you guys liked this tutorial. Anyhow, I hope you guys have a great day. Thank you so much for watching this, if you are still watching this, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye. That was dumb.